Total War Warhammer 3 multiplayer is going through a little bit of a slump at the moment, but it is still a lot of fun to play, even on ranked, especially in 2v2 domination. So if you haven't given it a go, grab a friend, jump on and queue up, and see if you can find a match. I did a few recently with a close friend of mine, RantorRave, over on Twitch TV, and just wanted to share one with you today. That was a very close match. So I'm Chris, and this is Game Chambers. So this is the game. So Rant was going All-Seeing Eye with Tzeentch, and I was going the Brotherhood of the Bear of Kislev, and we were up against a Tzeentch and Khorne combination on the, I think it was crossing of the Sea of Claws. So in our Tzeentch army we have Kairos, Soul Grinder, a couple of pink horrors and a whole bunch of blue horrors in the starting army. And in the secondary army there's another Soul Grinder, some Doom Knights, just some regular pink horrors again, some Forsaken, one unit of Screamers, and a bunch of Furies. For my Kislev army, I've brought Boris, our Patriarch, and a Tempest Mage. So pretty heavy hero core, but I wanted Boris to try and be survivable if Tzeentch decided to assassinate him, and also to be able to fight those big Khorne monsters. And we've got the Patriarch, as well as Kairos, brought Regrowth to try and keep him alive, just in case he was going to get himself killed. And the Tempest Mage, I think, just came with the Gust of True Flight and Hawks of Miska to try and deal with the horrors if they were going for a horror spam. I got 3 armoured Kossars, a single heavy bear sled, in reserve, another heavy bear sled, a couple of Streltsy, a couple of winged lancers, a bunch of leopards, which turned out to not be a very good choice of game, but usually I'd like the leopard, and then a couple more armoured Kossars. Probably could have brought a little more chaff to cap points. For the enemy's Tzeentch player, he brought a Herald of Metal up on his disc, and I think from memory he brought the Final Transmutation and Plague of Rust, I think? I'm not sure. We'll see during the game. Some Exalted Pinks, a Cultist with just the... he just brought the Power Stone just to keep recycling the summon to try and keep that infinite winds of magic flowing, especially with the Herald of Tzeentch's item, which is that the one Locust of Conjuration? No. He has an item that essentially can give them infinite winds of magic. It might not be showing it here because he's got to select it, perhaps. Yeah, we'll have a look in the game. In reserve, he's got Doom Knights, Chaos Knights of Tzeentch, Spawn, Flamers, some more regular pink horrors, and a bunch of Furies. For the Khorne player, he has Skarbrand the Exiled, a couple of Khorne Halberds, a bunch of Khorne Warriors with shields. And in reserve, more Khorne Warriors, shields, halberds, and even a dual weapon, a couple of Bloodletters, one Exalted, some Flesh Hounds, and some Furies. Okay, let's have a look at how this game goes. Okay, so you can see we've all formed up on our opposite sides of the map.
It is not to be feared, comrades.
Boris giving us a bit of a speech. Now we got Kairos and the Soul Grinders coming forward to see what's happening. We've got there's that Herald of Tzeentch up there. So does he have... Yeah, that Chromatic Tome. So that will give him infinite winds of magic. And he's got Plague of Rust, Searing Doom, and Final Transmutation. So Plague of Rust will actually trigger for 4 winds of magic. I think it gives you about 7 back, so it does net you positive magic with the that item loadout. Plus you've got the Cultists, which just have the Power Stone. Oh, he actually has the Gate as well, so you can summon some pink horrors. So Gyros is coming in here, trying to drop a pink fire. No, he's trying to drop a Tzeentch's Firestorm. Yeah, knocking them all, knocking everything flying, and immediately Kairos is up to 37 kills. Not too bad. 47 kills. Nope, keeps adding up. So nice little Firestorm there. It is very risky on this map to come down through these choke points if the enemy has AoE magic. So I've sent the bear sleds around on the flank. I figured I could try and put some damage on these halberds with their guns and just try and slow this advance, while everything else is moving up into the middle. I see these Khorne Warriors on their own, so I just charge Boris and the Patriarch in on top of them, and then all the blue fire start firing. I believe I have cast Gust of True Flight on these units at the back here, just to give them a little bit of extra range and accuracy. Even though we're shooting into silver shields, they were isolated, so I want to try and burn them down as quickly as we could. Skarbrand looks like he's coming in. And I think he does here, yep. So Skarbrand comes on in to attack Boris, cops a blue fire, and then gets held by Gaze of Fate. And then Boris and the Patriarch go straight on into him, and all the shooting targets him. So we've got the Streltsy have come down now, all the pink horrors. What do we have going down here? Is this a Sayak's Lullaby and The other one, which was called Tor's Battle Hymn, boosting the melee attack of Boris up to a massive 95. Hawks of Miska goes down in the background, trying to do a little bit of damage to those blue horrors back there, and the more bear chariots come in, trying to get their guns onto Scarbrand to do what damage they can. Herald of Tzeentch trying to help out, dropping a bombardment here, trying to kill a few blue horrors and some Streltsy, and trying to save Scarbrand. So Scarbrand's trying to back away here now, taking a fair bit of damage, but looks like he's going to get away safely with this huge blob blocking them up. So let's have a quick look at the rest of the battlefield. Not much else going on. The chariots charge on in. Slow that camera down a bit. So there we go, the front line is now engaged. The chariots, bear sleds are charging into this big blob of warriors up here as each army ability goes in, and then we have a huge final transmutation going down on this big blob here, so that's going to get lots of value for that Herald of Tzeentch, wherever he is. So yeah, it's always up to 1,000 value, so he's doing quite well. Off over here on point 1, we have blue horrors trying to do a bit of damage to the warriors of Khorne, as these armoured Kossars are trying to get into position as well to fight those pink horrors of Tzeentch. We have more Kossars coming to back them up, and off on the right hand flank we have Doom Knights, and what are these? The Forsaken, just trying to cap point 3. But the main fight here is this big fight in the middle. The bear sleds are going in and out, coming back now to fight the Fleshhounds, and then the swarm of Chaos Furies diving in on the Streltsy. So I do try and move them back. Got a Leopard coming in to help, but the Leopard's not the best against single targets, but Tzeentch is sending in some Furies, and they've sent in some Doom Knights to try and relieve our backline pressure. I think Boris and the Patriarch are still in the front fighting, fully surrounded there. Let's jump in and have a bit of a look. Yeah, the two bears holding up all that Khorne infantry. Boris drops down his AoE Frost spell and all the other buffs. So what is that one? Shard Blades, so doing some nice damage to everything blobbed up around him. And we do have control over Victory Point 2. And we also have control over 3, and we are battling at the moment for control of 1. So the armoured Kossars are sitting, shooting these Chaos Warriors. I know they're shooting into the Silver Shields, but free damage is free damage, so they're going to do more damage shooting them than they will taking some fire back. Okay, so what have we got going down here? Some Furies in the background, Doom Knights chasing off after them. Winged Lancers have been summoned in, now just trying to cycle charge and free up the Streltsy from these Chaos Furies. And the Frost Maiden just sitting at the back, regenerating some Winds of Magic. Really nice Tzeentch army ability from our opponent there, just basically melts our entire central pocket. And Boris and the Patriarch still tanking and holding up the entire army there, but this is sort of where our centre breaks, and you'll see the enemy is starting to cap this victory location. They have managed to cap Victory Point 1 as well, so they've got more capture weight than us there. So with the Chaos Warriors and the Pink Horrors, they have more capture weight than the 2 units of Kossars, because they got more models left remaining. Got some more Streltsy coming in here, trying to put some damage on it, and we've actually snuck a Leopard and some Furies around the back here onto Scarbrand. So Scarbrand was floating around the back trying to stay alive, but the Leopard and the Furies managed to take him out there. Some Flamers have come in, doing some nice damage to the Bear Sleds, but the Bear Sleds are going to go in on the Flamers and do what damage they can there. Once they're engaged with the Flamers, the Flamers are not going to last very long. As Rantor sent in his Furies now to surround that Exalted Pink Horror, and it looks like the Cultist of Tzeentch has come into the middle and potentially used his Pink Horror Summon. I haven't seen it, but I'm sure it would have gone down. Halberds coming in here. The Frost Maiden is in a bit of trouble, so she's going to get away before those anti-large Halberds get onto her. They do have a Streltsy unit providing overwatch, trying to bring down those armoured Khornate warriors, but they do have a pretty poor arc of fire here, so you can see only half of the unit can actually see. So that's my bad. I should have moved them forwards to get a better line of fire. But unless I think it's 75% of the unit is blocked, it doesn't actually tell you they're obstructed. So you need to have a fair amount of them obstructed. Still holding point 3 over there. And I think that was just... I think we just got the Tzeentch Lord there as well. So both the Lords are down. We have... A Leopard has now teamed up with Boris, and they're going to have to move out of there because those Halberds are going to be a bit of a problem for them. But we have lost point 2, we have lost point 1, and you can see our opponents are actually starting to catch up with us. So we didn't reach any breakpoints, so we do need to get back to a 2 cap. Streltsy are trying to shoot in here, but I still haven't really noticed that they are mostly obstructed, so they're not getting a whole lot of shots. So it's a bit of a waste there. They really should have come up here and tried to get in some more shots off. Over on point 1, got some rallying units, but we have definitely lost that one. And I hear some magic going down. What's going down? Can't see, but point 3 is being threatened over here. Cornate warriors are fighting the Forsaken of Tzeentch, trying to get onto the point there. Kairos is providing support, as are the Doom Knights, but there is a lot of Tzeentch and Khorne troops coming in over this way, so we're going to have to provide support there shortly. Point 2 is starting to turn back towards us. The capture weight is in our favour again. The Leopard does provide 6, so what I should have done was had this Leopard on the point as well to try and get that shifting as quickly as possible, but we have now flipped the middle back to our side, and we now have a 2 cap, which is good. We're going to be able to hold that for a little while and keep going. Nice flank here from my opponent with the Fleshhounds of Khorne. They'll do absolutely mulch the Streltsy. Streltsy aren't bad melee combatants, but against Fleshhounds and 2 Chaos Furies, they're not going to have much of a chance at all. So over here is another bit of a mistake we're making. We have a lot of troops fighting, and you can see when I hover over this flag, they're not quite on the point. I mean, we do have massive amounts of capture weight there, so we are in front, but just want to make sure you're fighting on the point whenever possible. We're looking like we're going to lose victory point 3, so I'm sending the sleds over, and I think I'm going to send Boris and the Leopards over as well. Well, maybe not. A couple of Leopards are back here trying to help clear up the Streltsy from the Fleshhounds. And I don't know what Boris is doing. He's got himself stuck in this pink horror unit. This is quite annoying because he seems to charge through enemy units easier than he can walk through a pink horror unit. You can see they're all getting in his way. Just eat him, Boris. Just eat him. That's really slowing you down. The Leopard and the Patriarch are both suffering as well. So it'd be nice if friendly units made way for characters a bit more, because they definitely are needed elsewhere on the battlefield. Don't need to be stuck inside a blue horror unit. We've now lost point 3 and point 1. Our opponents are definitely closing the gap now. So there's not much of a difference. And once they reach us, then we definitely have to get a 2 cap going. So the Furies dive onto the Bear Sleds. Not the best of decisions, because the Bear Sleds will kill the Furies, but it's going to delay us getting to the point. If they can delay us getting to this capture point, they're going to get in front of us more and potentially get to one of those victory ticket breakpoints. So we still have the middle firmly in control. There's a few Khorne and Tzeentch units coming down. There's Winged Lancers here, I think, are losing to blue horrors. No, Exalted pink horrors. These Winged Lancers are losing to pink horrors. And we have some Flamer on the back here that I don't know if we've noticed because we haven't done anything to deal with it yet. We're still trying to clear up these Furies in our back line. So Furies, despite having only 35 leadership and terrible defense stats with low health, they still seem to take an absurd amount of effort to clear up unless you've got the right sort of units. And they've definitely got their value back, not only in damage, but in disruption. So opponents now have gotten in front of us. So if they hit 3,000, we've got to make sure we're above 1,000. So we're definitely not going to be hitting that breakpoint, so we can still win on a 2 cap at this point. Nice Tzeentch army ability going in here, taking care of these Chaos Warriors with dual weapons. Narrowly missing those blue horrors though. So we do some nice decent damage there. Point 2 is still under our control, but there are a few more Khorne Warriors coming along. We've got some pink horrors heading out to this point. The pink horrors should be able to take 1 back, but they do have some Furies coming in, so we're bringing in some of our own Furies, and looks like some Armoured Cossars as well. These Armoured Cossars here need to get moving. They've left them sitting still for way too long, and these Winged Lancers here need to be sent home. Over on point 3, I don't want to send any of what I've got here into the halberd, so I'm just sort of looking and thinking what to do. What I should have done was loop them around here to fight the Chaos Warriors and just put the capture weight on, because 3 Leopards will out-capture these 2 units, because Leopards have infantry capture weight. Instead, I've sent them off after these Chaos Knights, which was a big mistake. So we're falling more and more behind, and I definitely should have gone for this point, because I could have had it being taken. Hawks of Mishka goes down over here just to deal with some of these blue and pink horrors. Looks like they managed to break a blue horror unit. So Hawks of Mishka is actually pretty good for dealing with horrors, because it does 16 leadership debuff as well as damage to lightly armoured units. So these Furies have managed to halt our advance again. These pink horrors have stopped moving, but we do have more Cossars coming in. And if they reach 4,000 and we haven't reached 3,000, then they have hit the victory breakpoint, but they still haven't hit that victory ticket breakpoint yet. So we do still have the chance of winning on 2, but from here it gets a little trickier, because the breakpoints aren't as easy to work out, and they do require a little bit of on-the-fly math. So the best bet is to try and 2 cap and potentially 3 cap. So we're going to take point 3 now, because I do have all that capture weight on here, and we now have a double cap. So theoretically, we can win off this double cap if we can hold them both, because we are past that break point. He's got about 1,000 tickets left. We've got about 8. No. Have I calculated that right? Yeah, about 800. So about 1,600, 900. So we should be able to win on a double cap, unless I am working that out wrong in my head, which I very well could be. I'll do the math again on the screen later just to make sure I haven't got that wrong. But we are losing victory point 2, which is going to be a problem. The sleds and the leopards are coming back because they do have the capture weight to turn it back in our favour. And there we go. They do manage to flip that point back in their favour. So they're now at 4,200 and we're at 3,600. And we are definitely at danger of losing this to the double cap. So we need to get onto this point over here and take point 1 back. And we do have the capture weight over here. We've got 5 units, all a little bit tattered, but versing just a single blue horror unit. We need to be making sure that they are all on that point. We have more weight coming into the middle, and we need to make sure we start killing stuff that's in the middle. I needed to get these leopards onto the point, so you can see these leopards are fighting off the point back here, killing the flamers. Probably had to do that to prevent the flamers doing the damage, but then they should be coming straight back onto that point. Potentially fighting these spawn, because spawn have got high capture weight as well. But we need to flip this point back in our favour. You can see the opponents are at 4,700. They've only got 300 to go. We're at 3,800, so we've got about 1,200 to go. We need a triple cap to win from here. So we needed to be making sure we were capping this point. And we haven't moved everything on here quick enough, I don't think. These pink horrors probably could come in. This unit of armoured Cossars is not quite on the point. I do have winged lancers coming in. We're about to take back the middle. There's 100 points left for our opponent, but we've got over 1,000 to go. But we've taken the middle back. We are taking the side point here. Come on, all you gotta do is move those Cossars and there's cavalry on. Our opponents are 40 points from winning. We have 140 to go, so we need to capture this. And we're just about ready to capture it, but they are 2 ticks away and 1 tick from taking back the point, and our opponents managed to take the win from us. So good game there to our opponents. That was definitely a nail biter. Only barely lost that one, but it was a good fun scrap, and well played to both of our opponents on the ladder there. So we'll have a look at the value, just because I know that it's a bit of fun. Kairos, plenty of kills, plenty of damage, and plenty of healing. Always manages to impress. The rest of them, pink and blue horror is always going to get some nice values. Any ranged unit is going to get lots of damage value. That one never got summoned. Doom Knights did alright. I think they were pretty much full of life at the end of the game. You can see just a little bit of damage on them there. Furies, always fire and forget units, always do nice. Boris and the Patriarch lived throughout that entire battle, as did the Frost Maiden, mainly using her buff spell, but perhaps I should have used more damaging magic. And the Bear Sleds. That one actually got a silver chevron, so that's really nice. Bear Sleds are definitely good against Tzeentch and Khorne, because they are relatively hard to bring down. Now, they didn't have many good targets for the Leopards, so the triple Leopard squad maybe didn't work out so well, especially when I didn't really use them for their capture weight, and that could potentially what cost us. So if I'd have used the Leopard's capture weight a little bit more, it could have turned the game a little bit earlier. Because all we needed was one more tick on that side point, or one less tick anywhere else, and then we might have been able to get that triple cap and hold it to a victory. So anyway, good game to our opponents. If you like what you've seen, please hit the subscribe button. We are looking at putting out some more guides soon, so if you've got any preferences as to which beginner's guide you would like to see next, let me know. Otherwise, we'll see you in the next one.